This week I'm doing a makeover on our 63 square foot living room in our tiny home. My husband and I built this 300 square foot home and we just moved in a couple of weeks ago. I intended on putting together our living room quite a while ago, but we had an early snow this year. So while we were moving our tiny house onto our land and getting our septic system installed and our drain field, we were running up against battling the weather a bit. And so I put a pause on all the indoor stuff so that we could get our skirting around the house done, insulation around the bottom of the home, and finish installing our septic system and drain field and electrical hookup, all of those things. I've been wanting to tackle this living room and make it a space that is more functional and livable for us, and we really need to fit quite a bit into this small space. But when we were moving in, this was kind of just a dumping ground for all of our stuff, all of our tools. We were tracking mud in and out because we were building in the middle of winter fall transition time. We need to have a place to have a dining table, a place for a couch, and just a place to relax and lounge. We also need extra storage and another source of heating. So those are kind of the main focuses for this phase of the makeover. There is a lot that we could do with this space, but right now I just want to focus on getting in and making the space feel comfortable, feel like it fits our living needs, and have it be practical and functional. So maybe this won't be the ultimate design plan, but I do want to get the space feeling cozy and feeling like home. I'll show you what I did. I left my pocket knife in my car. This is gonna insulate it.
Oh yeah.
I had my eye on these roller shade style blinds because they're very minimal. I wanted something that was going to blend into the background and not draw attention away from the room and just away from the open feel that it has. I got the blackout version of these blinds just because we're in such a small space. It's basically like a studio. So if there's a little bit of light coming through the window, it's coming through the whole house. So we've been loving these. They have been great, and also they have helped with insulating our windows. So that's an extra bonus. Next was sourcing a couch for this space. And oh boy, this took me a while to figure out the right couch. I originally had DIY'd a couch that I thought was gonna work for this space. I created a little pull-out footrest and found some cushions that fit the right dimensions. But when I got it in here, I realized originally I was gonna make something that folded out to a complete bed, but by the time I started putting it together, I realized it was so heavy and so bulky that it just wasn't gonna work like I thought. So I ended up taking that out. I had scoured the internet for a couch that was gonna fit this space. It's such specific dimensions that it was so tough to find anything. But eventually, after I had built that couch, I found this one and it was the perfect dimensions if I removed the arms. It's the perfect size. And it comes out, not only does it have a footrest, but it opens up into a full queen size bed. So whenever we have guests or if we're watching a movie, we can open up the couch and it can become a chase lounge or a full-on bed, which makes it so cozy and just super practical for our little space. So we've been loving that. replace these cushions. They're kind of like a weird velvet fabric that I'm not a huge fan of, but that's a fix for another day. I tried a couple different rugs in this space. I wanted a transitional rug that would help it feel cozy and just ground the space. But once I rolled it out, I realized that it just made this space feel too small. The rug was not proportionate, and I thought if I tucked it under the couch it would work, but ultimately I just decided to go with no rug for now. So I ended up finding a table on Facebook Marketplace, which was the perfect dimensions, but it is way too short. It's like 20 inches tall. So I took off the base, I unscrewed that, and I sanded down the whole tabletop, and then I went and bought some wood to build a new base and took measurements. So that's what I'm gonna get after today. I want to cut these and get it to size so that we can have a table that's not super, super short. So I ended up putting that base together, but then I decided it would be so much easier and work better so I don't have to notch out this center part where the, anyway, there's a piece that goes to it that needs a notch out. So I decided just to chop the legs off of this base so that it was already ready to just like remount, and already had this in place. So then I just had to figure out how to mount my legs. So that's what I'm working on right now. The other day I put together this fireplace. I was so unsure about it, if I wanted to keep it in this space or not, but yeah, I'll show you what I have and then let you know what I decided. So I put this together the other day, but yeah, I'm not sure if I love it or don't like it at all. I can't tell. My original vision was to replace this with a wood top and then replace these with wood, just to give it like a little accent of wood and some color, because right now it's just like white. There's so much white happening. But at least it doesn't make the space feel like super claustrophobic, so that's a plus. But yeah, I wanted to get this in here, and then we have some boxes of books that I want to unload and kind of style it up and see how it looks. I have some like craft stuff that I want to go through. I don't really craft, but I aim to start. I've been collecting pieces at the thrift stores through the last couple of weeks for storage for the tiny house, like this little wicker basket I found and this wood box. I find that secondhand pieces like this are so great for small storage, for those little things that you don't necessarily want to look at, but this helps it make it look a little more pretty. So what I want to do is, I have kind of like some art supplies and games, which I don't know, it just doesn't, I don't want to look at that. So I thought about like putting this game into this little ceramic container. Now I can throw away all of this packaging and everything has a place on the shelves. I I ended up having plenty of room for all of our books. I added in those thrifted items that were extra storage, and I also found this lamp for like $8 at Target, so I'm adding this to the top just to give a little glow in the evening. I think I actually really like the fireplace. I don't know, it's kind of cute. I know that it's a lot for this little space, and that was kind of my concern, but it also makes it feel cozy, and like seeing books on the shelf makes it feel like home, so that kind of feels good. It feels like it ties together and feels more like we live here. And this is so nice. This is what I wanted, was just to like be able to sit here and look out at the view. Oh, I love it. It took me a while to figure out what I wanted to do with the top shelf of the fireplace, but I decided that it would be a really practical way to store our wood for our little wood burning fireplace that we have near the kitchen. So once I brought in some logs and put them up here, I feel like it's a good spot for it. So that's what we're going with right now. I may change this down the road, but again, I just feel like we need to live in this space to figure out what works. Well, I think we're at a good stopping point now because we have all of the main essentials. It's like totally livable for us now. We have the table, we have the couch, the storage, the extra heating. So it's definitely functional, checks that box, and it's practical. The last thing that will be continually evolving is just making it feel like it makes more sense with the house. I feel like the fireplace could look more built in, and I might like paint it and add some wood tones to it to help it out a little bit. And of course, figuring out the table situation and recovering the couch and just making little tweaks here and there to just make it visually look better and like it makes sense. But for now, this is an okay stopping point because we just need some essentials to be able to feel like it's home, and so definitely does that. So I'm gonna end this here just because I really wanted to spend some time living in this space now, and eventually one day maybe I'll do something really cool in here, but for now it works.